Woody Womack joined by Sam Spiegelman. Huge news today as 2022 five-star quarterback Quinn Ewers, the savior of Texas football, decommits just a few months after he committed. Sam, what happened?
Yeah, I think obviously, things are not trending up. So I guess you say they're trending down for the Texas program. Obviously, the uncertainty around Tom Herman's job security, the long-term plans of this offense beyond Sam Ellinger. Quinn Ewers gave Texas a huge momentum boost with recruiting, especially in that 2022 class when he committed over the offseason, a very, atypical offseason with no visits because of COVID, and he's still committed to Texas. Obviously, he grew up a fan of the Longhorns. He wanted to be the future of that program. And in a weird offseason, it was kind of all positivity surrounding the Longhorns, and Ewers was a part of that. But things did not go as planned. When you're a five-star quarterback, you understand that there's a lot of media scrutiny. There's a lot of attention on you, whether you want it or not. Ewers doesn't really want the attention around him, but it's only going to boil if he doesn't, make a decision. If Texas is struggling, the head coach is possibly getting replaced. People are going to ask him. So he moved ahead of that. And now the number one quarterback in the country for 2022, the five-star Quinn Ewers, his recruitment is wide open.
Yeah, so this obviously Texas, the offense hasn't really been the issue. I mean, especially the games that I've seen, but are they still in it? And which schools are they going to be battling with now as they try to, he resets his recruitment and kind of starts things over?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the biggest question is like, will Tom Herman and Mike Yurchik be the guys in place next year? Because Yurchik is a critical factor to consider. When he came over from Ohio State, he had offered Quinn before Texas when he was the OC at Ohio State. So when he came over to Texas, take that same position, that was what really drew Ewers in to picking the Longhorns early. He had a well-established relationship. First, you have to look at Texas A&M, the other in-state team that has been recruiting really well and looks like they could close really well, especially within the state of Texas for this 2021 class. We'll see if that leads to any 2022 momentum within the state of Texas. Jimbo Fisher obviously has a great history of getting quarterbacks. The state of Texas, he's been really great with Haynes King, and that's stood out. I think that Ewers is going to pay attention, and if A&M starts gaining momentum within the state, he knows that if he commits there, he can get a lot of those same guys he wanted to bring to Austin with him. Beyond that, Ohio State is obviously off to a red-hot start with their 2022 class. Feels like they never lost momentum in 2021. It just kind of continued on to 2022. And, obviously Ewers really liked Ohio State when Yurchik was there. And Coach Kelly, who's replaced Yurchik, has established a relationship with him. So the Buckeyes are definitely going to be one of the favorites for Quinn, in my opinion. Then you look at a school like Auburn. Chad Morris has Demetrius Davis committed in this 2021 class. He's from the same neck of woods as Quinn Ewers. He's got relationships with the South Lake Carroll coaches that date back decades, So I think Chad Morris and whatever success they have at Auburn, if Demetrius has success in the Plains, that could really get Quinn's attention. So we'll keep an eye on Auburn as a possibility. And then, of course, Alabama. Last fall, Quinn made the trip out to Alabama. He was offered by them. He was really high on Alabama before he committed to Texas over the summer. I would look for the Crimson Tide to be on the short list of favorites along with Ohio State and possibly, A&M and Auburn. But, Alabama had momentum early on in this recruitment. And even, the last couple of weeks, that's one of the schools I've heard a couple times as a team to watch out.
So say Texas finishes this season strong. I mean, is that what he's looking to see? I mean, because especially you mentioned Auburn. I mean, it's not like they're lighting the world on fire right now. And if he's worried about, job security and stuff like that. So what do you think Texas needs to do to, especially on the field, to show him that, it's still a good destination for him?
Well, for context, a lot of this information about Quinn's top schools, you also have to throw USC in the mix and his relationship with Mike Carroll, which dates back to North Texas, his actual first offer. So USC, again, with the contenders. But this was right before he committed to Texas. He went over kind of the contenders and then, why it was Texas. and obviously relationships have changed since, August, July, whenever he committed to, October, November, where they've been able to have direct contact for, 2 or 3 months already. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is that no matter how much success or when the success is for Tom Herman and this offense, it's more about the long term stability of that program and where they think it's going. Maybe South Lake Hero is a team that is prominently featured in the DFW market as a team that competes for state championships year in and year out. Maybe Quinn is just trying to get context where Texas fits into that national picture. What if Ohio State is kind of in it every single year, Alabama is a SEC favorite every single year. Clemson, is Texas A&M moving closer to that upper echelon in the SEC, could stay closer to home? Does USC get a couple of 5 stars and really start turning that program around? Things like that. I think he wants to be able to compete for championships. If he can do it at Texas, that's great. That would probably be his ideal situation, what he thought he was walking into. But now I think he wants to do it, for a team that's going to be playing, into November and December, and we're going to be watching, those final 4 games of the college football season.
All right, Sam. So big blow for Texas. Be sure to check out orangebloods.com for complete coverage of 5-star Quinn Ewers decommitment.